Hello, my name is Noah Doely. I'm an artist living and working in Iowa, and I spoke at the very first Medium Festival of Photography back in 2012. And today I'm going to take you on a brief tour around a few of the spaces that I use when I make my work. I work in different ways, and depending on the nature of the project I'm working on at any given moment, I use different spaces to work. So the first one I'm going to show you is this one. This is a space in the studio called the Red House, and it's called that because of this. It's a red house that was repurposed by the Hearst Center, which is an art center next door, through the city of Cedar Falls. So artists in the area could have a place to work. I will mostly be using this space to build and arrange things to photograph. I also collect a lot of things. Some of them I use in my photographs. I'm also building various archives, some that are directly a part of my work and others that inform in different ways. And some of this stuff I just like having around. This table mostly has vernacular photographs on it. And here are a couple that I've gotten recently. This is a multiple exposure sequence of an eclipse. And I was kind of fascinated by this photo because it appears that the photographer cut a piece out of a second photo and glued it to this one for whatever reason. This is a photograph of an affidavit written and signed by someone who claimed to see a UFO. I used to shoot a lot of wet collodion photographs, and this is one of the cameras that I've used. I haven't used it in a while, but I like having it around, putting it out windows, and just kind of seeing the outside world upside down. This is the smallest camera that I have. This is a good camera to use if you're a spy. Let's see. This is a Klein bottle. This is a disguise. When I purchased this at the store in New York, the woman told me that Dwayne Michaels had bought the other one that they had. Diffraction glasses. And this is an antique bottle of potassium ferrocyanide, which is one of the chemicals used in the cyanotype process. Not to be confused with potassium cyanide, which is quite a bit more deadly. Here are a few of the lenses I've used when I've shot wet collodion. This is a bowl that was painted by my grandmother. I also collect slides, and I got this table that I use to view the slides. And I also collect 78 RPM records of bird songs. Okay, now we are going to go down the block. So this is the university where I teach, and if I'm doing photo printing, I do it here. Recently, I've been mostly working on these cyanotypes. Here are a few examples. Oftentimes during the summer, I will take over this space and use it for print viewing and trimming and stuff like that. This was the first photo that I made in quarantine, which seemed appropriate. I had the idea for it beforehand, but it seemed to take on a different meaning in that context. It's also the first photo that I ever adopted pets for. So this is something that I've been working on to use as a teaching tool when I'm doing cyanotype workshops. I wanted to print this same image on a whole bunch of different kinds of paper so people could see how different kinds of paper respond to the process. And this is a big pile of bad prints, test strips, stuff like that. I usually make a lot of different versions of each negative in Photoshop before I get to one that I'm happy with. So here's a few early versions of that eclipse puzzle photo. And here's one of the negatives. This is the dark room where I do cyanotype, chemical mixing, and paper coating. I use these sheets of foam that are back here, and I tape the paper to the foam to keep it flat. And that's the end of the tour. Thank you for watching.